Hey y'all, it is I, your coach, Melanie Black, and today we are going to be talking all about skincare, darling. We're going to talk about skincare because it is a topic that comes up quite frequently in my line of work. Even though I am not a dermatologist, I'm a sports nutritionist, personal trainer. We're going to talk about what you can expect from your skin when you dive into your weight loss journey, when you change your nutrition. We're going to talk about the very few skincare products that I actually use or would recommend. And what's worked and what hasn't, and so let's get right into it. We're going to talk about internal skincare, external skincare, and what you can expect when you are losing weight rapidly out of your skin, your hair, your nails, all that good stuff. Okay, so first thing I want you to keep in mind as we are having this discussion, because there are so many products out there, so many skincare products, especially that are marketed to women my age. I'm 42 years old, and yes, I'm beginning to get wrinkles. Look at the crow's eyes, look at the stuff, right? And I'm very vain, darling. I want to look good. And yes, your vanity is valid, right? It's totally cool to want to work on all of that stuff. But unfortunately, there's not really good regulation when it comes to beauty products and skincare. So a lot of these products can make false claims on them. And the really important thing that I want you to remember is that your skin, it is designed to keep moisture out. It is very common that these skincare products will want to sell you on this idea of absorbing moisture into your skin, but your skin is literally designed to keep moisture out. It is a protective barrier. So really, when we're talking about skincare in the sense of topical stuff, we're really talking about resurfacing and keeping thin this very most tippy-toppy layer at the very, very top. And this shouldn't be totally discounted, because indeed, resurfacing that very top layer can make a cosmetic visual difference to how your skin looks. So to that end, as far as topical stuff goes, there's a lot of products that just don't claim what that don't do what they claim to do, right? Now, in my research, I did find that there is one type of product, retinol, vitamin A, essentially, in various strengths, and there's over-the-counter vitamin A for the topical use and prescription strength. And retinol, essentially, it does sort of it acts like a chemical peel, and also, I guess, restores some of the collagen, I guess. Like I said, I am not a dermatologist. I will tell you, and I am not sponsored, by the way, but I will tell you that I tried this product here, which is L'Oreal's Revitalift Night Serum with pure retinol, 3% retinol in here, and I used this for a couple of weeks, and it is wild, man. Like, when I used this stuff, my face started peeling the next day, not right away, like 2 days after I started using it at night. My face started peeling, and it looked like I had dipped my whole head in a bucket of Elmer's glue and let it drying off. It wasn't like a sunburn, it wasn't that bad, but it was very interesting. It definitely resurfaced that top layer of skin, so I noticed a difference there. It was an incredible exfoliant. So I still am using that. I think it seems to be doing what it claims to do, which is pretty cool. I suppose if somebody had really sensitive skin, I don't know if I would recommend that, but again, not a dermatologist, guys. I'm just letting you know the very few products that I use as somebody who is minimalist and scientific and thrifty, and I don't want to mess around with like promises and placebo when it comes to skincare. So that one seems to work, and it's scientifically backed. So the ingredient retinol, and I forget what it's called when it's in its prescription strength form, but obviously if you're getting a prescription, you're seeing a dermatologist anyways, and you don't need me to recommend anything to you, right? So the only other skincare products I use, cocoa butter. That's why I look a little greasy right now. I've got cocoa butter on me. Cocoa butter, I use the Palmer's cocoa butter formula with vitamin E, and I use that on my skin, and I use it as my hair care product also. So some of you know I started my minimalist journey a while back, and got rid of a lot of stuff, including minimizing my beauty routine, so I don't use any other moisturizers, except for this one. I don't use anything else on my hair except for this one. No, I don't use conditioner or fancy shampoos or anything like that anymore. I wash my hair with bar soap, and I put cocoa butter on it. So again, maybe not for everybody. I've got very coarse hair, so, but that's a little beside the point. So topical stuff, that's what I use there. When I want to do like a scrub to exfoliate, especially for body scrub, lip scrub, that kind of thing, my preferred scrub is coffee, ground coffee, and I will mix that with the cocoa butter and use that as the scrub, and that works very well. It is very coarse though, so you have to be gentle. Be gentle with yourself. Okay, so that is what I use for external products. But as a sports nutritionist, I'm far more interested in talking about internal, right? So the very first thing that I will recommend that absolutely everybody should be doing for their skincare, more water, y'all. Remember, the skin does not absorb moisture, it repels moisture. So in order to have well hydrated skin, you gotta get it from within. So water is super important in general. For most active adults, I recommend at least 3 liters per day. The average person will sweat anywhere from 1 to 6 liters per day of water. So we want to make sure that we are replacing that water. Now, obviously, you're going to be replacing some hydration from the food you eat or the coffee you drink and all that kind of stuff. And if you're used to drinking coffee, that caffeine is not really that big of a deal as far as being a diuretic goes when it comes to hydration. But still, on top of that, you are going to be insanely benefited by drinking at least 3 liters of water per day, especially if you are an active person. Replacing that moisture will have a significant impact on how your skin looks and how your body performs and how your brain functions and how like everything in your body functions, because you're basically like a gelatinous mass of 75% to 65% water. So like, drink your water, y'all. That is the number one skincare tip I have from me to you as a sports nutritionist. This is also going to help with during your weight loss journey as you are rapidly losing weight and getting saggy skin and all this kind of thing. And we'll get into that in a little more detail in a moment here. But water, my number one recommendation, do it. Other recommendations when it comes to internally caring for the skin. There is a lot of like skin supplements out there that you can take that have things like collagen and vitamin E and all these kinds of things. And the problem with a lot of these supplements in general is just that there's just not enough research. I'm not saying that they don't work, but there's not enough research to say that they do work either. However, when somebody does begin a meal plan that is very rich in whole foods, and they're taking a multivitamin and they're drinking enough water all of a sudden, which is basically how all my plans are to some degree or another, you are going to notice a significant difference in the tone, the texture, the glowiness of your skin, as well as the thickness of your hair and nails. These are comments that I get all the time when somebody switches over to the meal plan. They are doing it a lot of the times initially because they want the weight loss. They're not necessarily thinking about other cosmetic things like hair, skin, and nails, but they absolutely do find that there is a significant difference in their hair, skin, and nails when they're on a good high nutrition plan and drinking enough water. So there's definitely something to eating well for better skin. Now, whether that's from the vitamins and nutrients or from the second thing we're going to talk about when it comes to nutrition, sugar or the lack of sugar. So remember when I showed you this cute little diagram of the skin? Why do diagrams of the skin always look so gross? In any case, you'll see in here that just below the skin surface in the dermis layer, we have all these little fine blood vessels, all the capillaries, fine little blood vessels, and those are transporting nutrients to the skin. The little tiny fine capillaries transport nutrients to the skin. So what the heck does this have to do with your sugar consumption? A lot. So here's the thing. When somebody is diabetic specifically and they're eating lots of sugar and their insulin isn't functioning well, what you end up with is that the insulin's job, is to take the sugar out of the bloodstream and put it where it needs to go as usable energy. And if that's not happening, the blood will literally become thick and syrupy, like syrup with sugar in it, okay? This is a major problem, of course, for the person's mortality, but also This is why diabetics will sometimes lose vision in their eyes because of the fine little capillaries in their eyes. This is why they will lose circulation to their extremities and sometimes even lose limbs and feet to diabetes, is because that thick syrupy blood can't pump through. And this is also why diabetics often have very ashen, very pale looking skin. Now I'm a very pale white person, obviously, but like even in this context, they would be like really pale and ashy. This is super common with diabetics because they're not getting the blood flow into the dermis. Okay, that means that nutrition from the food is not getting into the skin. So while we don't know for sure, science doesn't know for sure if consuming dietary vitamin E or dietary collagen will actually have an impact on the collagen or the tone or texture of your skin from the vitamin standpoint. We do absolutely know that having better nutrition, having lower blood sugar does absolutely help with the transportation of nutrients to the skin. So very good reasons to get onto a meal plan besides just avoiding that whole all-cause mortality thing. Now let's talk about the downsides. Okay, the downsides to being on a nutrition plan where you're losing weight really rapidly, like these folks over here. So one of the things that, like I said, that happens when we do a big body transformation, and if you're interested in watching my body transformation, I don't know if you watch the channel frequently, you can subscribe to find out, but I, this past year, intentionally have gained 50 pounds, which I will be losing over the course of weeks upcoming, and I will be doing a weekly live video on YouTube documenting the process for losing that 50 pounds as quickly and healthily as possible. So if you're interested in that journey, go ahead, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If you would like to be guided through this journey, if you need this for your own self, then definitely join the Nerd Gym, www.thenerdgym.com. Now I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly about losing fat really rapidly. Now, when you are losing fat, your skin will deflate. There is no getting around this, okay? This will happen. Now, while your skin texture, the tone of your skin, the nutrients, all this kind of stuff going on with your skin is going to improve with the better nutrition and with the increase in drinking water that is required on a plan to lose fat. What you will find is that if you are rapidly losing fat, more than 2 pounds per week, you are going to get some kind of sagging. This is natural. This is normal. Don't panic, okay? And yeah, you're going to go through a little bit of a ugly duckling phase. This is why being positive about your body, appreciating your body every single step of the journey is so important, y'all. So accepting your body through these phases as you're doing nice things for your body, like you're giving it better nutrition, you're working on your health, you're working on your fitness, all these good things. It's wonderful that you're giving yourself that love, but extend that love also to the aesthetics. Now, your vanity is valid. I understand you didn't start losing weight just for the health benefits. You also wanted to look better. That's okay too, but have a little patience with yourself, okay? So it's really important that you have some patience with your body as you're going through this process. And one of the major questions I get all the time is, okay, so I've lost weight quickly, I've got this saggy skin, how long? How long is it going to be? How long am I going to have to suffer this indignity of having saggy skin? That depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on your age. It depends on your genetics. It depends on, how long you have been overweight to begin with. Now, if you are on the female end of the gender spectrum and you have had a menstrual cycle for during your life and you go through menopause, postmenopausal people who are on that end of the on the spectrum will have a more difficult time because there is a sudden drop in collagen, just hormonally. There's no getting around that. But even for women who are senior citizens who I've worked with, they still will get some rebound. They still will get some of that skin sort of shrinking back up to a degree, okay? How much is a very personal thing. One of the ways that you can kind of give yourself the heads up, like, am I going to have to deal with saggy skin for a good long while after I lose weight, is how quickly it bounces back right now. So like for me, right now, because I'm overweight, I've got this extra fat on my arm here, and when I pinch it, it snaps right back. You see that? So it snaps right back. This tells me that I am not going to have any real lag time, maybe a couple of months, few months before my saggy skin on my arms pops back into place, no problem. Now, I've got skin on other parts of my body. That's not the case. Like I've had a couple of kids. I've got skin on my lower belly that will never truly return to that flattened out state, not without surgery. And one of the things that I would really recommend to anybody who's going through a major weight loss journey, if you're losing 100 pounds or more especially, give yourself at least a year. Like a year or two, see where your skin returns to after a year or two of being consistent and staying at the weight that you want to be at, staying at the body fat percentage you want to be at, and if after a year or two you're still kind of like saggy and baggy in places and it still really bothers you and you've been working on the self-love stuff, but you know what, your vanity is valid too, and if you find yourself in that position, you may want to look into medical interventions if you've got the financial means to do so, and see about, like, you know, tummy tucks or skin taking up the skin. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, whatever the hell they do to like take up your skin. But there are some things that you can do as far as exercise goes to work on the aesthetics of how you look once you have lost that weight. And this is part of the reason why I highly recommend doing strength training during your weight loss journey, after your weight loss journey, because a lot of times these aesthetic things that people are very concerned with can be helped quite a bit with strength training, and not only visually, but it just makes you feel like a legit badass, and it makes you have more appreciation for your body, and you can kind of start forgiving your body these little discrepancies of a little saggy skin here and there, but hey, body, you're strong, you're beautiful, you're doing all this great stuff, so why are we worried, right? So one of the things in particular that I want you to keep in mind when it comes to toning or shaping the body, or shaping the body in response to saggy skin, is you always want to look at it like filling out your skin suit, right? So for example, if you've got saggy skin on your thighs, you want to make your thigh muscles bigger, right? Making the thigh muscles bigger with muscle instead of with fat will sort of reshape and fill out those thigh muscles in a different way than it did with the fat, and it will give it some shape and some nice aesthetic appearance as well. So for like example with the arm, a lot of times when people are focused on trying to get their the jiggle, the bat wing or whatever off, they do a lot of tricep extensions, working the muscles in the bottom of the arm, when in fact biceps, working the top of the arm, have just as much to do with whether or not that skin sags or not, right? So if I've got a large bicep, it's going to take up that skin from the bottom. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're sculpting your body, when you're doing the exercises that are going to take up that sagging skin. And remember that not all rep ranges are created equal for those kinds of goals. 1 to 5 reps, very, very heavy, is wonderful for strength and connective tissue and bone density, and I think everybody should do that rep range. However, you really want that sort of bodybuilding 8 to 12 to failure with lots of volume. If we're looking for hypertrophy or toning, it's all the same thing. It's making the muscles bigger and more shapely to kind of fill out the skin. And then if you're doing like lightweight 15 or more, you're working on your endurance, but you're not really going to do much for shaping and toning the body. So all of these things are stuff that we go over in the program at the Nerd Gym. So if you need help with any of that, let me know. But yeah, that's kind of what you can expect, and just what I wanted to go over on this Self-Care Sunday is all about skincare. So drink your water. That's the number one thing you can do right away to improve moisture from within, darling. And then, yeah, as far as resurfacing the skin goes, whatever products you end up choosing for that, just remember that nutrition gets to the skin through the fine little capillaries from within, and this is why better nutrition will have a profound impact on how your skin looks. You will go through a journey with your skin, not only in your weight loss journey, but just by virtue of being human. So love your body, body, love your wrinkles, embrace the journey, and have fun with it, and look at these little refinements where we're using beauty products, or we're trying to finesse our look and giving into our vanity a little bit. Think of these more like acts of self-care, of love for the body, of celebration of the body, not as a way to like fix the problem, like pummel ourselves into submission. It's not, it shouldn't be like that. It should be fun, it should be joy, it should be a celebration. And if you're having trouble with that, don't beat yourself up over that either. Just surround yourself with people who are supportive of you and positive, and we will all get through it together. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. If you've got questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I will get to them next time. And I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. All right, bye-bye. See you later. Da 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 da. And in the live stream. Yeah.